All right, everyone, let's pull up a chair. Welcome to Veterans Perspectives. This is Jeff, your host. First, before we get started, a word from our sponsor. It's not really a sponsor. I started a petition on change.org. That petition will push state legislators and our own Congress to change the age limits, term limits, investments, or lack thereof, access to investments, among other things, for Congress. I want those changed. I wrote the 28th Amendment to the United States Constitution. We already have 20 signatures on it. I know it's not a lot, but you got to start somewhere. Everyone starts at zero, right? So I want to push that out to you. Should you want to sign it, it is free to do so, okay? I will include the link down in the description if you want to read it. If you agree with it, I would love it if you signed it. If you disagree with it, don't sign it. Totally fine with me. That is part of being in a republic. You don't have to agree with me. In fact, you can openly disagree with me. I'm totally fine with that. So, but I think a lot of people are on the same page as me. We need to reel in our Congress. Speaking of reeling in our Congress, let's talk about the issue at hand today. Today, we're going to talk about how Congress, more specifically the subcommittee or the Committee on Veterans Affairs, decided to pull a little bait and switch. Okay, so everyone pull up a chair. Congress is back at it again. Okay, we're going to talk about House Resolution 6047, if you want to look it up, the Sharri, Briley, and Eric Edmundson Veterans Benefits Expansion Act. Fancy title, right? Oh, but Jeff, we're expanding veterans benefits. That sounds good, right? Oh, contraire, mon frere. Let me tell you why this is not a good thing. Because of how they are going to fund it, or proposed how they're going to fund it. Okay, sounds noble, right? Named after heroes, right? Like Sergeant Eric Edmundson, who was catastrophically wounded in Iraq. The bill is supposed to increase benefits for our most severely disabled brothers and sisters, what is known as R1 and R2 at the VA. Okay, it's the most severely disabled veterans and their survivors, their family. Okay, so that sounds great. Good. We should expand their benefits. Absolutely, we should. We all want that. Okay, but you need to see the fine print in this bill. Okay, and that fine print in terms of how they want to pay for it, because Congress just decided that you, and by you, subtext, veterans will be their piggy bank, and active duty soldiers will be their piggy bank. Soldiers, airmen, Marines, sailors. So here's how. So instead of finding money in the trillions of dollars they spend elsewhere, like the money we send to Israel, the money we send to countless other fucking countries, right? The money we give to all these dumbass programs that don't do shit while we watch veterans suffer, okay? They're going to reach into the VA home loan program to pay for these benefits, okay? This is a massive shift. They have never done this before. This has never, ever happened before. They have never dipped into another veteran pot to pay for another veteran pot. That's not how it's ever worked, because it's not supposed to work that way. Okay? So, since 1944, if you were service connected at any level, you did not pay a VA home loan funding fee. There was no fee for the home loan. Okay? It was part of the Home Loan Act for veterans after World War II. Okay, this bill breaks that promise. Another broken promise for veterans. Okay, if you are rated at 70% or less, they want to charge you the full funding fee, which could be thousands of dollars. Thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars in some cases, because it depends on the value of the home, which we know for a litany of reasons, home prices are ungodly expensive. Okay? So if you're rated at 70% or less and you go to buy a home using your VA home loan, this bill wants to charge you the full funding fee. And then they want to use the money from that funding fee to pay R1 and R2 veterans and their families. They're robbing Peter to pay Paul. That's what they want. So here's some math for you. I'm not very good at math, but I did some calculations. So if you're at 60%, you're rated, and you move or you get a new job or you want a bigger house, okay? You're looking at a 3.3% to a 4.3% fee. On a $400,000 house, that's over $13,000 added to your loan. You'll be paying interest on that for 30 years. If you take a 30-year loan, okay, which most people do. The refinance trap. There's a refinance trap here, right? They're also tripling, or they're proposing to triple the fee for interest rate reduction refinance loans, the IRRRLs, interest rate reduction refinance loans, from 0.5% to 1.5%. They're literally making it more expensive for you to save money on your own mortgage. Again, this has never been done before. This is not an update to make things better for veterans or to match current home conditions. This is making things more expensive for veterans because Congress doesn't want to find another way to fund a fucking program that they created. So this creates a two-tier system of worthiness. So if you're at 80% or higher, you're disabled enough to not have to pay this, right? They're trying to, and I firmly believe this is my opinion, right? This part's my opinion, okay? I want to be very clear about that. I'm not like our news media who will fucking lie to you and say that their opinion is fact. This part's my opinion. They are trying to pit veterans against each other. That's what they want. They like division, and now they want division within our subgroup, and we cannot let that happen. Okay? They want us to look at each other and determine if we're disabled enough to warrant the benefits that they so graciously give us. Okay, if you're at 70% in this case, you're a revenue source. So think about that. Guys on aircraft carriers right now that they just sent off the coast of fucking Iran, okay, or Iran. Sorry, I say things differently. Fuck off. They're doing the work. They have families, right? Think about that junior officer who just got married, maybe has a pregnant wife and is on base housing, and they want to move off base. Oh, but Jeff, that's so few people. It doesn't matter. It does not fucking matter. They're one of us. Think about that E6 who has a wife and a couple of kids, and they want to get the fuck off base housing. Because it's fuck all. And they want to buy a house. And they want to use their home loan, their VA home loan, to do it. They should not have to pay extra, not just for the home, but also for the privilege of doing so. No other subgroup has to do that at all, in any way. Congress is sitting in D.C. voting to hike their home loan fees before they even get back to the states. It's a veteran tax. They're taxing veterans for being veterans. So here's some receipts for you. Here's the committee roll call. This passed the House Committee on Veterans Affairs on February 12th, last week. Okay? Before I made a video on it, I did my research. I watched the committee hearing, blah, 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 blah. I did all that stuff so you guys didn't have to. Okay? And it passed with a narrow 13-10 vote. Okay? It just needs a majority vote in committee to go to the House. Okay? Then it has to pass the House and pass the Senate, then be signed by the president to become law. That's how laws work, people. Okay? I'm going to read off the names of the people and their political parties because, why not? You need to know these names because they're the ones who said no to other funding sources. And I will talk about other funding source options that they talked about. Okay, like, I don't know, closing tax loopholes for millionaires, billionaires, and said yes to charging you, the veteran, instead. So yes vote. Mike Bose, the chairman, Republican from Illinois. Where'd my list go? Ama Atama Radwagon. I hope I said that right. No, I don't care. Republican. Jack Bergman, Republican. Michigan. Nancy Mace, Republican. South Carolina. These are the ones that voted yes for this, by the way. Maynette Miller Meeks, Republican. Greg Murphy, Republican. Derek Van Orden, Republican. Morgan Luttrell, Republican. Juan Ciscomani, Republican. Here in Arizona, you'll be getting an email from me, sir. Keith South, Republican. Jen Higgins, Republican. Abe Hamadeh, Republican. Here in Arizona, you'll be getting an email from me, sir. Neither one are my actual House reps. You're still getting emails from me. I do not care. Okay. And Tom Barrett, Republican. The no votes were all Democrats. I will read their names too, so you know who they are. Mark Takano, the ranking member, the ranking Democrat on the committee. Julia Brownlee, Sheila Chairfus McCormick, Morgan McGarvey, Delia Ramirez, Nikki Budzinski, Tim Kennedy, Maxine Dexter, Herb Conway, and Kelly Morrison. All Democrats, all voted no. It was split down party lines. Think about that. Think about that. Okay, so here's the insult. Okay, the kicker here. They're doing all of this, charging you thousands in fees to give survivors of these R1 and R2 veterans an extra $24 a month on average. That's an insult to the survivors. I want them to have more money. I want them to have more benefits. $24 a month is a fucking insult. I want them to have more, but veterans should not be paying for it. It's a slap in the face to every veteran, and especially to veterans 70% and below. Okay? The bill is out of committee. It passed committee, and that is a big hurdle. Getting a bill out of committee and into the House or the Senate is big. Okay, that is the big step. This is not a law yet. It has not been passed. I've seen about 13 videos about this when I was doing my research, and no one mentioned that it fucking hasn't passed yet. They all talked about it like it was law. It is not law. It has not passed, but it is out of committee, and that is a hurdle. So, if you agree with me, again, you do not have to agree with me. That is okay. If you think this is the way things should be, I disagree with you. But hey, good for you. That's cool. If you think this is the way things should go, we can have a debate about it. Okay? Then I'll say, well, I don't think veterans should be paying for the for the retirement benefits of other veterans. Plain and simple. Especially when laws exist where those things are funded by taxpayer dollars and by Congress. Don't start wars. Don't start wars and don't start conflicts and don't build a military unless you're willing to pay for the consequences of doing so. And consequences are disabled veterans. Think about that before you comment. Think about that before you comment. Starting wars, part of the cost of wars is taking care of the warrior. Period, hands down. Okay, leaving committee, this bill leaving committee is a huge hurdle. Okay? So this is the moment to make noise. Okay? You can call the committee directly in Washington, D.C. You can pound their phone. Their phone number is 202-225-3527. That is a public Washington, D.C. phone number for this committee, the House Committee on Veteran Affairs. The Arizona veterans, my people, call Juan, Ciscomani, and Abe Hamadeh. Call them. Call their asses. Pull them up online. Go to house.gov, baby. House.gov, go to members, go to Arizona. You'll see them right there. This is not the precedent that we want to set. Remember, every law that government makes sets a precedent for what they're allowed to do. Okay? Let me give you an example. It would sound great in our brains if hate speech was made just flat out illegal. I know some speeches, like you can't say bomb in an airport and shit like that, right? Because that could endanger other people around you, right? But if we ban people from saying things that they believe, then that gives government, because government does the banning, laws do banning, right? Laws ban things. If we give government the power to ban one form of speech, they now have the precedence to start banning other forms of speech, or at least try to, because they're assholes, right? Government has proven time and time again that they are assholes. Okay, and I'm not going to be silent about that. They're morons. They have been bad at their jobs in Congress for decades. They have done nothing meaningful in Congress for decades. And it's because we, the people, have let them try to do shit like this. And we stay silent. Well, your boy ain't going to stay silent about it. Now, some people say you're just an old man yelling at clouds. That's fine. At least I'm doing something about it. At least I'm saying something about it. At least I'm exposing the issues. What are you doing about it? Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tolerating me. Thank you for joining the family. Make sure you like, subscribe. Click on the petition down below, change.org. Check it out. Sign it today. And I will see you guys next time.